So how do you like CVR Vancouver 2017?
That's pretty sweet so far.
Have you tried all the booths?
Most of them, not all of them.
Did you try the truck in the back with the whole room scale exit?
Is that one cool? You should try it.
That was pretty impressive.
Sweet. Let's go with it. I really like the space cats is really cool.
Space cats.
Sweet. And also the one where they take make you take off your shoes and then they take photos of your shoes.
Scan your feet.
Yeah.
Did you know that they use those scans to identify what other people have the exact same foot as you,
Really?
so that you know who you could share shoes with?
That's sweet. I'm gonna find some of these people.
Yeah, it's an interesting place filled with the most interesting people you could find in the region.
Nice.
So you had a question about augmented reality and virtual reality. Oh, artificial intelligence. So have you thought about the fact that when you're in virtual reality and you're engaging with other people, those are all real people, but they're avatars.
Right.
So when artificial intelligence, AI, gets into the VR world, you're going to have avatars that are actually not people. But the cues that you would normally have that let you identify if it's a real person or not are gone.
Yeah.
So you're going to have sprites
So you don't know.
suddenly becoming realistic.
Yeah.
So you could be in VR playing a game, let's say on the PlayStation VR, Werewolves Within, where you're just bluffing and lying about who you are and what you're doing. You're trying to deceive others, but you don't actually know if that's a person or not. I imagine in the near future, when there's more avatars and sprites and bots in VR, that you're going to start seeing artificial people popping up to sell you products, and you'll be like, that's a cute girl and keeps asking me stuff about me. She's very interested in me, but she keeps trying to get me to go to her website. That's probably a bot. Eventually it'll be an AI, perhaps even an AI assistant. So the whole idea of having like artificial intelligent assistants on your phone is really cool, but now that VR comes on your phone, you load your phone into VR, your AI assistant will most likely have an avatar persona.
Interesting. Cool.
So you can imagine interacting with your phone
Like your Siri
in VR. Yes.
Interesting. That's cool.
So you'll put on your phone, you'll be like, Siri, I'd like to see some images of Africa. Now you're in Africa and you're interacting with a bot or a sprite or a computer.
So then I guess those bots and sprites, they take all the searches and data from your phone. Okay, you're like this kind of thing, so try and push it on you.
Even more so because when you're in VR, it tracks your gaze and knows how long you look at what items. They're considered hotspots.
Interesting.
So if you're in VR and you spend a lot of time looking at cleavage, it knows that might be where your head is at.
So then what would it push on you?
Probably something related to female. But if every time a car goes by, you're checking out that car, it now knows what type of vehicles you prefer and might advertise those products.
So like I guess you could trick it if you just like look at something dumb for like a while.
Absolutely, but I would say that's a lot harder to do than you realize because your subconscious processes are very hardwired, for lack of a better term, a lifetime of conditioning your behavior to certain responses. So when you're in VR and something you like goes by, it's very hard to resist that urge to look at it.
Yeah, that's true.
And because it's tracking your gaze, it knows what you're interested in, it knows what the average person's interested in. Those are very useful metrics for the marketing industry, including product placement. When you film everything in 360, everything becomes product placement.
Interesting.
Yes.
So like, can VR handle like a person walking yet?
Yes.
Because a lot of it's just stationary and you're orienting.
Stationary is better, but yes, it can handle walking. The real challenge is when a human walks, they bob up and down. There's this locking that we do in our knees, our knee joints lock in the upright position when we walk, and it creates a bobbing motion. When you're filming with that bobbing motion and then you're walking in VR, if they don't match, you have a disconnect between what you see and what you feel. Anytime there's a disconnect between your visual sense and your liquids in your inner ear, that's part of what creates nausea. So if you're on like one of those walking treadmills and it's synced with your motion, everything's fine. So basically, if you're going to film motion with a 360 camera, you try to keep it as stable as possible. When you're in VR, you kind of want to walk and have as little bouncing as possible. That makes the best experience. Ideally though, teleporting in VR, that's the best way to go. Walking is slow, you just want to look, hit a button, and boop, you're there.
I see.
It's the best way to travel around.
Cool,
There's even sites here that allow you to take a 360 video and add buttons within it that lead to other 360 videos. So just the act of looking at it takes you there.
Sweet. That's fancy. Do they have like VR in use for like search and rescue robots kind of things?
It's already starting to happen where a 360 camera replaces the head on a robot, so that you put on VR and you are the robot. I imagine in the future you should anticipate that's going to be a very viable method for deep sea and ocean exploration. Send a robot with a 360 camera on it. The person is here in VR operating that drone on Mars, building a facility or exploring the ocean. Now that Star Trek is releasing this multiplayer, cooperative, operating a starship through space experience, I imagine in the future there'll be ships exploring the ocean and space where it's a team of people playing a game in VR, navigating the world.
That's cool. Awesome.
There's already drone racing, where they put a 360 camera on a drone, and it's a bunch of people flying the drones in a warehouse, and the people are in VR flying around. But now anybody in the world can load up any of those drone feeds and be sitting there.
That's awesome. Yeah.
So I've personally captured all over Canada hundreds, thousands of videos. Zip lining, whale watching, boating, anywhere that I think would be fun to bring a camera and put a person so that you can learn about these experiences.
That's awesome. Thanks a lot for the discussion.
No, thanks a lot.
Nice to meet you.
I'm Zen from This Is Me in VR.
Zen, I'm Gabe. Nice to meet you.
Okay.
You're on.
Have a good one.